All right, what's happening? What's happening, guys? It is Monday, August 30th, 2021. This morning, we're going to be talking about how to elevate yourself. How do you unleash the best version of yourself? What does that look like? And, what are some of the steps you can take? First, what are the things you can do to kind of evaluate where you're at? And then, secondly, what are some of the steps that you can take to actually make sure that you are elevating the life that you have, that you're unleashing that best version of yourself? Happy Monday to you guys. Let's get started.
It is ultimately important for you to look at your goals, truly what you want to do in your life, and then look at the people who you spend the most time with in your life and figure out if that lines up.
All right, guys, what's happening? Happy Monday to you. Hope you guys are having a great day so far. This morning, we're going to talk about one of my favorite subjects, which is, how do you actually unleash the best version of yourself? How do you find that person? How do you find that version of yourself? And how do you unleash that version? How do you get to that person and how do you make it happen? And I think it is important for us to understand exactly how to do that. From an assessment standpoint first, and then secondly, from the standpoint of how do we actually find that higher gear, right? So I've got 5 tips here for you that I wrote down this morning that I think will be extremely helpful for you. But first, as always, I want to say good morning to some folks. What's happening? Tammy Clark, John Stanton, Daniel Good, Ed, Scott Rhodes. What's happening, guys? Good morning to you, and thank you for being here. So the first thing I will tell you, the first thing that it starts with 100% is it starts with mindset, right? And how do we evaluate our mindset is the question. How do we actually, get to that point of establishing, do we have a positive mindset? Are we stable in our mindset to the point that we can actually elevate ourselves? We can actually unleash the best version of ourselves. And I will tell you, it's a simple equation as to how you test kind of where you're at. 2 tips I got for you when it comes to mindset. So ask yourself this question: how many times a day do you actually doubt yourself? Ask that question to yourself. How many times a day do you actually doubt yourself in situations where you have no business doubting yourself, right? When you think about what's going on in your life, how many times a day do you actually doubt yourself? That's number 1. Number 2 is ask yourself how often you are operating from an offensive position in your life rather than a defensive position. How often are you really focused on what is going on in your life and you're focused on it from an offensive position first? Ask yourself that question. How often does that happen? The question is, if you are not playing offense more often than you're playing defense, then you have a problem, right? Very critical piece of your mindset. Where you are from a mindset position is dependent on those 2 things. How often do you doubt yourself? How often are you playing offense versus how often are you playing defense? Number 2, when it comes to elevating yourself. So number 1 was it all starts with mindset. Number 2 is you have to take the time in your life to dream, to think about the future, to actually make your future so much bigger than what you're doing right now that the problems that you have seem like nothing. And so if you don't take the time to dream on a regular basis, if you don't take the time to actually elevate yourself to a higher position mentally by dreaming, then you will never actually find that best version of yourself. You will never, ever find it if you don't take the time to dream. Number 3, you have to take the time to figure out what really matters. Like, what is going to drive you daily, right? It is figuring out what really matters that is going to drive you daily in your life. No question about it. If you can't figure out what really matters, then you're going to have a problem when it comes to the adversity that you face. When you face adversity, what is it that keeps you going? What is it that drives you daily that allows you to achieve that best version of yourself? It is those things that really matter. A lot of people label that as your why, right? What is your why? But figuring out what really drives you daily. Because what really drives you every single day, that's what's going to help you stay focused to find that best version of yourself. You have to figure out what really matters. And that takes time, guys. So you have to spend quiet time in your life figuring out what it is that really matters. What is it that actually drives you? Because a lot of people just find the surface level stuff. They think material things, trying to work towards cars or houses. And for some people, that is their why, right? Cars are a big deal to some people. But for most people, the why is going to be something deeper than that. The why is going to be something different than that. And you have to figure out what that is. Number 4, probably one of the most important things that I have been able to successfully implement in my life is I've been able to create routines. Daily routines, weekly routines, monthly routines, even yearly routines that serve my goals and dreams. If you can't create those routines in your life, you're really going to struggle when it comes to how to be able to be successful, how to find that next version of yourself, how to elevate yourself and unleash that best version. So creating routines is a huge deal. And last but not least, number 5, and none of it happens without this. Be willing to sacrifice over an extended period of time to get what you want. If you are able to stay disciplined over months and years, if you are able to stay disciplined to those routines, if you're able to figure out what really matters, if you're able to take time to dream, and you have a solid mindset, and you can be willing to sacrifice over an extended period of time to get what you want, there is no question at all that your dreams will become a reality. And I know this because there were many things in my life that I did not think was possible that have become a reality because I was willing to pay the price over an extended period of time to get what it was that I thought was there for me. And when you combine all of these things into a daily routine, a daily system that allows you to elevate yourself to the next level, you're going to find out things about yourself that you didn't even know were possible. But you have to be willing to do it for an extended period of time. The world we live in today tells you, well, if you just do it for a month, if you just do it for a couple of weeks, you should be able to get results. It's not how it works, guys. You have to commit to something. You got to stay committed to it for a long period of time. And I'm talking long periods of time. Months and years. Months and years will get you what you want. Days, chaining days together is a start. It is not the answer. It's an extended period of time, and it is significant sacrifice. And it's going to be hard, and you're going to want to quit a million times, and you're going to have those conversations with yourself, as it says in number 1, where you doubt yourself. How quickly you can get from that doubt back to confidence is going to determine how successful you are. And you got to be willing to put in the work, man. You got to be willing to put in the work and do it over and over and over again for a long period of time. So let me review these one more time, and we're going to get this Monday kicked off here. Number 1, it all starts with your mindset. Work on your mindset. Recognize what's going on in that space between your ears. Number 2, take the time to dream. If you do not take the time to dream, you don't set massive goals for yourself, you're always going to be selling yourself short. Number 3, figure out what really matters and establish what drives you daily, and then remind yourself over and over and over again. I write it in my planner every single morning. Number 4, create routines daily, weekly, monthly, yearly. And number 5, be willing to sacrifice over an extended period of time to get what you want. That's the list, guys. That's how you elevate yourself. That's how you elevate your life. There's no secrets to it. It is hard work. It's sacrifice over an extended period of time, and you will get what you want. You will get every single thing that you want in your life. You just got to be willing to work for it. I hope this episode was helpful, guys. If it was, please share this out to your pages. Please leave some comments over on YouTube, here on Facebook, on what stuck out to you. Drop a review over on iTunes, any of the podcast platforms. Man, the views and listens continue to grow day in and day out. The number of people that show up here every single morning continues to grow. So I appreciate you guys. You're helping build this show. You're helping to change people's lives, and the messages that I get as a result of this show are amazing, man. It's amazing what happens when a bunch of people come together that want to get better, and they start to implement the things that are recommended from the clues of other people. Right? Success leaves clues. I've been fortunate to have a lot of mentors in my life, and my goal is to pass those tips along to you guys here every single morning. So I appreciate you guys being here this morning, and I will see you again tomorrow morning, same place, same time, right here on Morning Perspective. Love you guys. Thanks for being here.